No, indeed.
Hey weirdos. Hey guys, how are things? Just a short video here today. Just a subject that I'd like to touch on, and we all know, look, I don't claim to be psychic or anything like that. I don't have any really fantastic powers like that, and I'm quite a skeptic as well, but I do, however, believe that there are people out there that are very talented in terms of psychic abilities. I think they're few and far between, and I think that there's an awful lot that are kind of masquerading and making a lot of financial return out of it. But that said, I do think there are people out there that are genuinely talented. But what I want to talk to you today about is intuition, and I'd love to get everybody's opinion on intuition. Have you ever been sitting in a waiting room and you get that feeling someone's looking at you and watching you, and then you look over and there is someone looking and watching you? You know, this is a real thing, and like to explain it, I suppose, I don't know, some people that watch this would know me personally, and they know that I'm a martial arts instructor, and one of the things that I teach people is this gut instinct. In fact, anyone that's interested in anything like that, Buddy's just moving around here, don't mind him, he'll probably try and attack a Rottweiler in a minute. But anyone that is interested in self-defense, martial arts, and the ability of getting home quite safely, should really take a look at a book written by a guy called Gavin de Becker, and that is called The Gift of Fear. Now, I hear you say, what has this got to do with anything to do with haunted area or anything like that? Well, it has plenty to do with it. In fact, that book tells you that your gut instinct is something that you shouldn't override, and civilization has taught us how to override this. Now, what am I talking about, you say? Well, historically, I'm a press photographer, a freelance press photographer, and there was a case here in Ireland where Tina Satchwell went missing. She was a lady from Youghal in County Cork, and she went missing, and her husband would have been the last person to see her, Richard Satchwell. And anyhow, it was a huge media coverage on it and whatnot, the usual thing with a murder case. Now, before we go any further, Richard Satchwell has been charged with the murder. He was charged late last year. In actual fact, Friday the 13th, as you would have it, Friday, October the 13th, he was charged with his wife's murder after human remains had been found in the house, and they had been, through dental records, identified as that of Tina Satchwell. Now, guys, I don't want you hopping in on comments here. Be aware of the fact that it's not up to me to decide, or you, whether he is innocent, guilty, or any of that. I'm just telling you that he has been charged with the murder, and it was that happened last October. Everything else, it's an ongoing case, and so maybe keep your opinions on that matter till he's had his day in court, or days in court. So anyhow, what am I talking about this? Well, or why am I talking about this? I can't remember going back in time whether it was the Late Late Show or the Ray D'Arcy Show, but it's something my gut tells me it was the Ray D'Arcy Show. Anyhow, I went into RTE to photograph him coming off the show, so I would have had an exposure between myself and Richard Satchwell for maybe 5, possibly 6 minutes as he left the show and made his way to his car. He had his 2 little dogs with him, and I remember coming home that night and I said to Natalie, that guy is strange, really, really strange individual. Now, is there any crime against being strange? Well, no, look at me, I'm pretty strange, but it's a different kind of strange, okay?
You said he kind of crawled up into the lens, didn't
Yeah, he did, and that's the only way that could describe it. It's like as if he had tentacles and he crawled into the lens. And in my career as a photographer, I've only really encountered 2 other people that managed to do that. The other one of them was Graham Dwyer, and I remember photographing him outside Blackrock Garda Station, and the other one was Larry Murphy. I photographed him the morning he was released from Harbour Hill. Yeah. So, and I would have photographed an awful lot of murderers over the years and a lot of weird people, but they're the only three that really crept into my soul almost, you know, through the lens. And that's the best way I could describe it. So there's certainly some sort of intuition there, and I had no doubt in my mind that Richard Satchwell was definitely, to say the very least, and you can paint the rest of the picture by numbers, a very strange man, and that's all I could really say about that at this point in time. And a man that was working the length and breadth of Ireland as a truck driver as well. We must remember that. So, guys, what about you? Do you have intuition? What do you think of intuition, and you know, what's your take on psychics and stuff like that? You know, as I said, I'm not a sensitive person, but he definitely got into my psyche that evening photographing him. And like I said, photographing murderers for me would be par for the course. I've done a lot of that, you know, so it wouldn't have been an extraordinary occurrence for me to go and photograph. In fact, I've photographed other people that have murdered people, and I've photographed people that have murdered spouses and whatnot, and none of them had that impact on me, you know, with the exception of the three that I mentioned. Now, I feel that this intuition and sixth sense, whatever you want to call it, I feel it's something that we all have, and I feel that maybe it's something that young people have more so before civilization manages to censor this stuff out of us. Now, there's a woods that myself and Natalie go to, and I spent a lot of my life in woods, and I spent a lot of my time on my own as a teenager, sleeping in the woods, and you know, yeah, I'm into bushcraft and survival and stuff like that, and I teach that too. So for me to be on my own in the woods is no unusual occurrence either. And there's one wood that I hate going into, and can you tell us what wood that is, Natalie?
Let me think. Would it be Massey's Wood?
Massey's Woods, that's the one. And there's definitely a strange vibe off that. What do you think?
Definitely. Every time we go in there, it's like you go in such a good mood, and something just kind of, you know, creeps into your soul.
Yeah, it's that, and it is that kind of tentacles reaching out and getting into your psyche. And I believe
and actually, sorry, there's a few times that we went to go there, to go in,
and didn't go in,
and just didn't go in. Just something in the gut just said,
yeah,
you know, something's...
Yeah. And has that ever happened anywhere else?
No,
not at all. So, like, I mean, there's something to that, and I really do believe that. Anyhow, where we're sitting right now, we're on Bray Seafront, and over that way, only a couple of yards,
my
is
lovely
where,
clean window, sorry, excuse that.
over there, that's where Ezra Urlan's car was recovered.
Just down the end.
That's the lady that went missing on the 23rd of February and 2011, and we're coming up onto her 13th anniversary now.
We actually have a video.
We do have a video if you want to go back and check that out. And I have my own theories on that. Like, I personally don't think she drove that car to Bray herself, and I personally, now this is just my opinion, of course, I think we covered the distance and the journey from her home to here, and I think that there was loads of opportunity there to get rid of a body. It's horrible to say, but you know, there was loads of opportunity to get rid of a body in the Dublin / Wicklow Mountains en route, and then I think park the car as a ply. And sure, look, go back and you can watch the video, you'll find it there. We all talk about how the phone pinged on the tower over there and whatnot, but I certainly, and we're back to intuition, I certainly don't think that she committed suicide or anything like that. I really don't. I think she'd far too much to live for. Anyhow, guys, we have a video coming up next week too, and we're not going to tell you what it's about, but I think it's going to be a good video, and for anyone that's interested in missing people, they might enjoy this video, and it's coming on quite a special occasion. So guys, we want to wish you a very happy new year and a very weird new year. I hope you keep your weirdness going and it flies at full steam this year in 2024. Talk to you next week. Over and out.